right, I'm just gonna share. Hello, my beautiful Facebook family. I am Anya Devi, and I'm coming to you for day 39 of 366 days of showing up online every day and sharing my message with two of my beautiful sisters, Stacy Rohr and Nicole Pemberton, who I am so grateful for. It's incredible to have people by your sides that are supporting you, and you support them in return, and you know they're there for you. So I was wondering today, what does all this mean? Showing up every day, what does this mean? Why is this commitment here to show up every day for 366 days? Why does it even matter? Like, who does it benefit, and why? Like, why is this happening? So a lot of people may question that. A lot of friends or family question, wondering why are people doing these Facebook lives or sharing their message, and why do they need to show up every day? And so in this kind of work that we do in the world, and I'm speaking from a place of understanding higher consciousness and awareness. So we're talking about a place where we are awake from just being simple human beings, living our life of surviving, and we realize and remember who we truly are, divine, multidimensional, magical beings who are here to share and serve our purpose work in the world, our soul mission work in the world, reclaim our birthright of being free, and create from a place of liberation and transformation, and reclaiming our birthright to show up in the world and to serve the world. And so this kind of work is happening all around the globe. The way to reach our soul family, we often we must speak out. We cannot sit quiet and hope they're gonna find us, because they're not gonna find us unless we show up and we speak up and we say, hey, I'm over here, I'm doing this kind of work. This is what I believe in, this is what I stand for, and people who resonate with us will naturally be attracted to our energies. And oftentimes it also doesn't even matter what we say, it's what we feel when we're in someone else's field. What we feel from the words they say just resonates, and it feels like we know each other. Hey Lauren, how you doing? So yeah, that's what I was feeling into today. And showing up every day in my commitment for the world is like creating that vibrational frequency and energy to create a ripple in the matrix. even though we know and understand consciously that this ripple that we're trying to create may also create a ripple effect, not only positive, but also in a way of a purge and in a way of like a shadow, like a little bit of a shadow work, always to go along with a higher vibrational frequency. And so showing up for 366-day journey was like a self choice and an advice, and it's like understanding your level of self-mastery doesn't come from not doing anything, and showing up and sharing my message with trust and with vulnerability and with an open heart, just following my inner divine guidance of what needs to be spoken, sometimes will create a ripple effect in the matrix, in the world, on the planet. Wow, that's nice, Lauren. 77, that's great. I'm still in Utah where it's really, really cold. Yeah, it was like maybe 40s today, so there's still snow on the ground. So I'm talking a lot lately about a retreat in Costa Rica, and I'm inviting my friends, and I'm calling in my soul tribe, my soul family, to come and do this deep inner work together. And I know that I tend to be sometimes a little bit too serious. Maybe that's the Russian in me, that just like Russian people just don't smile for no reason. Not even that, like no reason, but yeah, maybe it's that cultural, whenever you look at any Russian pictures of families, no one is smiling, like everyone just has a straight face. But just talking about the Divine Union Retreat in Costa Rica, inviting my tribe, so the tribe that can feel my genuine, authentic desire to be of service and to help each other to transform and to help each other to create a sacred time, sacred memories. Like when we come together, when we find each other through the online space, which is a sacred space in many realms and is used in sacred ways in many realms, when we find each other and we connect with each other in physical locations, so much healing happens. And so for this Costa Rica time, May 23rd through 30th, come and be with us. We have some beautiful musicians that are coming, and people who are really ready to sit in the sacred ceremony with each other and heal the world, heal our wounds and heal the world. And setting intentional healing practices and sacred conversations and sacred spaces, things that are important now, things that are important. And really connecting through the heart, connecting through the energy of love. Yeah, Russia has had a very hard past for sure. And yeah, the smiles were just not part of what the culture was about. No reason to smile. You know, we gave each other smiles when we knew. When we knew each other, there were plenty of smiles, but just because, like, to a stranger or someone we don't know, no, like, it's almost like there was like this level of protection, right? It's like this armor that we put on to protect ourselves. Because if we smile and the smile is not returned, there is some sort of hurt. So it's easier just to not even smile. Yeah, I can see how that's a little bit of an armor. And yes, of course. Yes, we could smile. Definitely could smile. And if someone does smile, it's very genuine. It's very genuine. That was one of the big shockers for me when I first came into the United States is the cheese. Say cheese. Say cheese. You know, and just the smiles that, you know, they come on and they like immediately wipe off. Like, you know, some people like that. I'm sure. Like, it's like smile, and then as soon as they walk by you, it's like straight face. It's just really always touched me in a way that's like, how is that even, how is that even real? So yeah, just a big shock, you know, if you live in the United States, you actually don't realize it's a huge cultural shock. At least to me, to Russians, you know, if we've all resonated a lot, the Russians, they're having a really hard time here when they first move in, missing the home and missing just the different relationships, different friendships. Friendships are definitely different. Russia has been rather restrictive not to be a patriot, but why do you think so many Russians come here, as well as Chinese and Koreans? You know, I don't know how many Russians come here. You know, I know there's always Russian communities in many bigger cities. You know, for me, looking back, also realizing it's like you are looking for a freedom. I think looking for freedom, looking for a way to escape. You know, I felt like for me was an escape from what I saw was happening in my life. And so looking for freedom, for a fairy tale, like looking for a fairy tale, happily ever after, a heroic love wins all type of a story, and away from, it's usually to get away and to find a better life. And you know, United States of America just kind of has the reputation of a land of all possibilities. Yeah, of course, they do not understand that they are using their freedom to complain. It's so true. I agree with you. You know, there's a lot of people who complain about Facebook, and I'm done with Facebook. I'm going to go here or go there, and they do, and that's fine. Or else we just can continue showing up wherever it happens. And naturally, it happens for me on Facebook for 366 days. So, yeah. So, Costa Rica, if it's calling to you, it's gonna be incredible, nurturing, nourishing, healing experience of a few different healing modalities that we're bringing together into this incredible multidimensional cocktail of different medicines, of sacred plant medicine, of sacred animal medicine, of sacred energy healing medicine, and spiritual wisdom and self-mastery practices, divine feminine, divine masculine, the 12 dimensional 12th chakra and beyond activations of the light body and the architecture and rebuilding of our corrupted DNA and corrupted cells, and reprogramming and repatterning all the conditioning. There's just so much we can all do when we are together, when we people come together and we all bring our healing tools and we place it all in a circle, and we take it and we heal with it. If people got shot or thrown in jail for voicing their opinions, you would not see complaints online. Do you think? I think people would still rebel and break the rules and break the law in a way if that was the law. Social credit score, depending on what you had said about certain things, will depend on what job you can have. Well, yeah, that's a total control and corruption of humanity in those grids in those countries, and like they're living their timeline. They're living in their reality, their timeline. It's almost like we can just take an airplane and go and see and feel for what that timeline feels like. So like we understand it, to feel it, to experience it, we just have to go. When I go to Costa Rica, it's a completely different timeline. It's a completely different realm of being. And why not? Like, we get to experience these multidimensional experiences for ourselves, for our bodies, for our souls, for God to feel and see through us, to know through us, to understand through us, and we can truly see everything through the lens of the divine, through the lens of the divine angel, divine multidimensional star being that is here now in their full power, have done so much inner healing and so much digging and diving deep and understanding all the things that we need to know so we can find our purpose, so we can be together, so we can all find each other. Like, as when we find our purpose, we find our people. When we find our people, we find our purpose, we find and see our vision, we begin to speak more freely, right? We liberate each other, we activate each other. Hello, Tristan. And we begin to create the true healing work on the planet. These things are privilege. Yes, very privileged, very spoiled, right? Like, hey, Stacy, my love. Yes. So how can we be humble in the way that we're not small or meek, right? Like, we can be humble and grateful and empowered and confident. Oftentimes when we're humble, a lot of people are meek and small and they're afraid, and they're just very, very there's a lot of humility where you're down on your knees and rags and you're not really doing anything. But we can empower and we can rewrite those stories. Our new generation can write those stories. And like I was saying yesterday, we understand all this. Lauren, you are speaking so clearly about this. We can understand what not to do from personal actions and what to say and do when we see that something like that is happening in front of our eyes on smaller levels, or bigger if we have that hand is played to us financially, you know, financially, or when we have the power of love to contribute to better the world that we see is being corrupt. Yes, the media does not help Russian perceptions either, bearing current events in movies, books, video games, and so on. There's always a Russian bad guy somewhere. I know, isn't it so funny? It's so true. It's like this preconditioned belief. The Russians are bad. There's like this KGBs and mafia, and you know, yeah, definitely. And the funny thing is, it was decades of conditioning around that, with both Russians and the United States. And you know, I was just listening to the president of Belarus, and he was speaking. He was he was speaking, and he said, we are so sick of Western свинство. He says свинство means I don't even know what it means actually. Свинство. I have no idea, but it's like openly speaking openly about just like so done and sick with whatever is happening. And there's just so much separation like that in the world. Yes, so much separation, so much conditioning, so much untruth about each other, when we are all like these beings living our lives, trying to do our best at what we have and be the best we can be, and to grow and awaken and find each other. That's what I was saying earlier. We are here to find each other and to support each other and to heal together and to travel together and to meet in other places. Please come, like, right? Come to the retreat, throw a retreat and tell me about it, and I'll come. Like, that's what it's gonna be about. In the new earth, we're all gonna be doing trades, and we're all gonna be traveling to each other's places, and we're going to be in this abundance of service and love, and no more of this slavery and victimhood and dependency on material things to make us happy, or material entertainment to fulfill our inner holes. Like, that's not what life is about. None of these things are important. What's important, like today I also felt like my children, that's my fruit of labor too. Like, my children, I have raised them to be incredible human beings. And I'm so proud of that, of myself as the mother, and I'm proud of them, and they're doing amazing in school. And yes, we're changing things. The new generation is going to be incredible. They're going to rise. They're not going to be fooled and conditioned by the old world, the old lies, the old paradigm of fear mongering and shaming. It's not going to fly with them. They're too smart. They're already awake. They're already awake, and they have their whole lives to go deeper. See, Lauren, you are figuring it all out. That's what we're here to do. Figuring it out. It's like the codes. It's coded. It was all shown to us. Like, it's like preconditioning of what's gonna happen later. We can pull this trigger, and the whole world immediately gets triggered that Russia's a bad guy, and now Russia's a bad guy. And then that this inner trigger is on. Okay, it's on. Let's see who's gonna get triggered the most. Which emotion are we gonna trigger in humanity? Anger, hatred, fear, separation. Like, no, that's Am I triggered? I cried a few days ago in the car, just like true tears for the land, for the mother fatherland of Russia, of Ukraine, the beautiful divine country. The Russia is known to be like the belly of the mother, the belly of the earth. Like if the earth had body parts, the belly is in Russia. And just feeling the mother earth in general, like the mother earth has been so divided. And guess what? We're here to bring and return the true healing and the true ascension to the earth, and to put us back together and rise together. Yes, Stacy. So it is our birthright. That's one more thing I want to say. It is our birthright to claim and reclaim ourselves, our purpose work, our vision, what we want to bring, to live in the heart space, and to say no and to see all this programming and conditioning. That's like everything you said, Lauren, is like this mind control programming that all of us are now triggered, just it's like this with everything. And pharma and all of this medical, see, that's like another topic that I haven't even touched yet, but it's really dear to me, talking about pharma and how it's such a big what's the word, something against humanity. The pharma, it's like, yeah, everything is preconditioned and then later it's triggered later. We are actually getting sicker from the treatment we are receiving later. It's like a trigger. So it's the same. Our mind has been conditioned and programmed with the fear towards the Russian, and then boom, there's a war, there's an invasion by the Russians. So it's like we didn't need to be proven. We already all kind of were programmed that inside. But what is really happening behind the scenes, not many of us know and understand, or want to understand, or want to see. And for some of us, it's open and it's available, and we feel it in our bodies, and we know the truth. So 2 years ago, I was feeling into this topic. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. I'll just speak a little bit about it. 2 years ago, when the COVID first hit United States, I woke up at 3 a.m. I was woken up by this message to get up and go journal. So I got up and I went in the middle of the night, got up my journal, and I wrote like 9 pages. And it was so interesting. It was almost like this out-of-body experience. And I was shown the world, and I was shown this beautiful circle of beings who are, just kind of watching over the world and holding space, and basically was shown many things that I would love to talk about more, that took place throughout the 2 years and have integrated into my life and into my teachings and everything else that I also had to let go of the conditioning and the lies that I also thought were true, that were not, and just really grow and evolve even more, and know that we are all guided, we are all protected. There is a higher purpose to all of it, and And we're here to support that purpose alongside those celestial beings and that were shown and speaking to me the messages that I received. And then later, just really, really quick, it was almost like all the truth was revealed to me that was shocking and upsetting and very awakening. And I didn't doubt it for a moment. And in my body, I knew this is the path. And this is the true path of ascension. This is the true middle path. The middle path of the heart, of service, of understanding all of life, all of suffering, sickness, illness, death, understanding it all and being at peace with it all and empowered to confident. It's like a mixture of power, of love, and service in truth. So because we want to create healing on the planet, that's what we want to create, is healing for each other and create sacred spaces. And that's why I have created and was inspired to create this Costa Rica sacred space together. Tristan, I'm looking forward to being there with you and to truly create a sacred space, to feel what there is to know and to receive what we need to see. I'm open to just exploring so much magic. And Elizar, I've put on my leg in 1999 to put my ball of my hip back in place. Wow, my mom is very familiar with that, Elizarov. My mom got in a motorcycle accident when I was 18 months old, and her leg was almost torn off. And she spent 5 years healing her leg. Her doctors could have cut it off and amputated it, but they didn't, and they put it back together. And just remember her mentioning that. But that was a roller coaster for our lives. I spent 5 years growing up in this orphanage place outside of St. Petersburg, Leningrad, in the place in the forest. I pitied myself in my victimhood mentality for a while, for decades, of what has happened to me. This poor little Anya, this poor little girl, was abandoned by life, and everything happened, really realizing later on that was my biggest gift. That was my gift from life, to grow up being raised by women with other children in the forest, surrounded by the wind and all the elements, the rain. I just remember always drinking from the rain, drinking from the forest rain, and being just embraced in butterflies and flowers, and just creating so much magic. And the women that were there, they took care of us. This was back in the Soviet Union time, and yeah, it was magical. When I think back, it was truly magical, like a druid-like experience, like this true trust and connection to the divine nature, Mother Nature. So I'm so grateful for that connection. And in Costa Rica, that connection is amplified so much by the jungle, the Amazonian jungle. I have never heard anything so loud. And it is amplified by everything that we're going to be doing. I'm so looking forward to that retreat, to that pilgrimage, to that journey, to that inner discoveries and transformation. I cannot wait. It's such a gift. It's such a gift. Crimes against humanity. Yes, thank you, Tristan. Yes. And we're all going to learn about these crimes against humanity and just having an open heart. We're here to support humanity when the truth comes out, Tristan. We're here to heal the grids of our mother. We're here to heal our wounds so then we can heal the collective and do this work for the collective, for all living beings of humanity. So, yes, looking forward to it. What left the US on 7, Poland 1993. So, yes. Yeah, I flew through Warsaw. Yeah, Warsaw. I flew through it a couple of times on the way to Russia. Forgiveness, acceptance, compassion, empathy. Yes. So beautiful to connect with you guys. Brothers, sisters, we're all one, truly. So interesting, right? And like these nostalgic memories, they're so healing. There's so much healing happening because of this old conditioning is now being triggered. Yeah, just releasing the old and rising with the new, being shown. We're gonna be shown. Costa Rica is gonna show us so much, so much. I already know it. I already feel it. Thank you so much. I love you all. Peace to all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.